Martin Luther King Jr. was born on January 15, 1929 in Atlanta, Georgia. He was originally born Michael King, but his name was changed after him and his father's trip to Berlin, where he chose to be called Martin Luther after the German activist. He was assassinated on April 4, 1968 in Memphis, Tennessee. He was an American Baptist minister, humanitarian activist, and leader in the African American civil rights movement. He is best known for his role in the advancement of civil rights using nonviolent civil disobedience. He led the Montgomery bus boycott in 1955. He helped found the Southern Christian Leadership Conference in 1957. He helped organize a nonviolent protest in Birmingham, Alabama in 1963, where he was wrongfully arrested and jailed. During his jail time, he wrote his famous letter from Birmingham jail. He helped organize a 1963 march to Washington. At the March to Washington, he delivered his world-famous I Have a Dream speech and became known as one of the greatest orators in history.
I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. I have a dream that one day on the red hills of Georgia, the sons of former slaves and the sons of former slave owners will be able to sit down together at the table of brotherhood. I have a dream that one day, even the state of Mississippi, a state sweltering with the heat of injustice, sweltering with the heat of oppression, will be transformed into an oasis of freedom and justice. I have a dream that my 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream today I have a dream that one day down in Alabama, with its vicious racists, with its governor having his lips dripping with the words of interposition and nullification, one day right there in Alabama, little black boys and black girls will be able to join hands with little white boys and white girls as sisters and brothers. I have a dream today I have a dream that one day every valley shall be exalted, and every hill and mountain shall be made low, the rough places will be made plain, and the crooked places will be made straight, and the glory of the Lord shall be revealed, and all flesh shall see it together. This is our hope. This is a faith that I go back to the South with. With this faith, we will be able to hew out of the mountain of despair.
On October 14, 1968, he received a Nobel Peace Prize for combating racial segregation with nonviolence. In 1965, he helped organize the Selma to Montgomery marches. The following year, he and SCLC took the movement north to Chicago to work on segregated housing. In the final years of his life, King expanded his focus to include poverty and speak against the Vietnam War, alienating many of his liberal allies with a 1967 speech titled Beyond Vietnam. In 1968, King was planning a national occupation of Washington, D.C. to be called the Poor People's Campaign when he was assassinated. His death was followed by riots in many U.S. cities. King was posthumously awarded the Presidential Medal of Honor and the Congressional Gold Medal. Martin Luther King Jr. Day was established as a holiday in numerous cities and states, beginning in 1971 and as a U.S. federal holiday in 1986. Hundreds of streets in the U.S. have been renamed in his honor. A county in Washington State was also renamed for him. The Martin Luther King Jr. Memorial on the National Mall in Washington, D.C. was dedicated in 2011. King said his father regularly whipped him until he was 15. A neighbor reported hearing the elder King telling his son he would make something of him even if he had to beat him to death. King suffered from depression throughout much of his life. At age 12, shortly after his maternal grandmother died, King blamed himself and jumped out of a second-story window, but survived. King was a smoker but kept it hidden. King was a serial adulterer and had many extramarital affairs. He spent the last time of his life with someone who was not his wife.